Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you another 2 versus 2 ranked game with myself and Val, playing against Uber and Salad Fork. So I'm playing the 716th Infantry again, and Val's going to be playing the 3rd Fallschirmjägers. And then we're playing against Uber, who's using the 101st Airborne, and Salad's going to be using the 3rd Armoured. So this is a map that actually suits the 716th really well on this left side. In the last video I showed you guys Omaha 2 versus 2, where the left side engagements really suited the IG-18s and the MG-34s because of the crossfire available. However, in this map it's even better because you've got just enough trees to like hide and conceal your units, including the hedgerows, but you've also got a lot of open ground and a lot of sight lines that allow you to see so far. So for example, from here you can see the entire left side. From here you can see the entire right side and left side of those trees, and that's really amazing for the 716th because they rely so much on IG-18s and the PaK-37s. Also MG-34s and Osttruppen going to be used mainly to take the town. So again, you just got the Command Infantry, Osttruppen, MG-34 for the town. You got Command Infantry, IG-18s, PaK-37s. I think I was putting one PaK-37, one IG-18 near the town. One's going to be heading towards the center area. These two are going to be heading towards the attack beacon, and these two are supporting the sort of center here. Then Val's going to be making his push for the factory and holding the right side. So I was literally holding the major left front, and then Val's going to be holding the factory and basically challenging the right side. And that was our strategy throughout this game. So if I just speed things up, again, it's very important that I show you guys the sort of locations where I'm putting these AT guns and IG-18s in order to take advantage of the opponents. So one place that I was going to put the IG-18 was pretty much to the left here. And that was simply so I could roll it further to the left, and you can see as I move it further left I get more and more sightline onto all of these buildings down the road here, and that allows the IG-18 to provide fire support as we go. And then I have a PaK-37 moving into this hedgerow. That's pretty simple because it's got really good line of sight on the right side, and I can also have it close enough that it can roll into the town and do a lot of damage there. Then I've got IG-18 rolling forwards into this tree line, PaK-37's holding back. And that's so the PaK-37 has more time to fire than the IG-18. IG-18 can be my meat shield in that case because the PaK-37 is the one that's going to get kills onto, for example, half tracks rather than the IG-18. So it's important that my PaK-37 stays alive longer than the IG-18 in that case. IG-18 again here, it's taking this tree line, and PaK-37's coming up pretty much next to it. Probably shouldn't have had them so close, but that's okay for now. M1 gun's going to be destroyed here. I think that might have been either in the center of the map or somewhere else, but do a decent job somewhere either way. And IG-18 is going to be getting quite far up with the PaK-37 in the center of the map because they didn't spread out enough to cover this road. So I managed to get the IG-18 and the PaK-37 so far up in the center, and that's already giving us this +1. So there's multiple units of armoured rifles pushing into this town now. 3 units of armoured rifles supported by half tracks. There's also an M8 Scott, and I do have my command infantry here to make this PaK-37 a little bit more elite. So I need this PaK-37 to get the kill, and well, it bails out the M8 Scott just before it gets pinned down, which was perfect. Over on the middle we got 2 half tracks being taken out by PaK-37s, and now this PaK-37 is going to engage this M8 Scott. So my IG-18 did get killed here, as you can see. And that was pretty much exactly because of what I said. Like, I used the IG-18 as a meat shield. It's pretty much there to... Like, you're probably wondering why I didn't use Osttruppen. But basically, if there was only like 1 unit of infantry in the middle, then an IG-18 would have been perfect. But if there's any sort of form of armoured push down the middle, then the PaK-37 is much better. So using just a combination of the both means you are set for both occasions, basically. So my IG-18 here, the infantry support gun, is providing fire onto these half tracks to stop those from firing. And I brought up some recon now in the form of Aufklärer rather than Fusiliers, mainly because we're fighting out in the open. The Aufklärer do much a better job of like keeping concealed and providing me with information for longer. So yeah, just going to be using Aufklärer, and I'm using the Colombelles MG to help pin down units on the road. So I've moved the Colombelles MG to the left side here so that the MG can be used. IG-18 is going to be pinned down here, and since we are having trouble dealing with the half tracks, I'm moving over the Pak 37. Colombelles MG is going to be shooting something in the middle. I believe there was the armoured rifles here, yes. And yeah, Colombelles MG is just trying to pin down some of that infantry as it moves forwards. I did lose my pack to the M8 Scott, and the Scott is a decent rival to the Pak 37, but this Pak 37 is going to be having a go now. Alongside the IG-18, we're just going to continue to fire at the M8 Scott there and force it to fall back. Now this was pretty unfortunate for the opponent because the M8 Scott ended up driving towards my Pak 37 and IG-18, which gave it all the time in the world to try and get a direct hit, and eventually the M8 Scott goes down there. So against the 716th, those M8 Scotts are actually a really good idea. The only trouble is they can be stunned by IG-18s and Pak 37s, as you can see. Even though the IG-18 doesn't really have much of a chance of taking it out, it can definitely stun them. And you can see I'm starting to form holes in the front line since I'm playing against the 3rd Armoured player on my left side, and they just don't have enough points in Phase A to stop me from just spreading out and continuing to make holes in their front line. And they're actually pushing up here, but I have an Osttrooper that's going to challenge their armoured rifles. I have a Pak 37, or a Pak 40, sorry, to cover the centre road. And then over on the left side, this Pak 37's finally dealing with the half tracks. Just going to make that one fall back. Going to get another shot in, and boom, crew killed. So half track's slowly going down. This is going to allow me to start moving forwards my Osttrooper, supported by the IG-18 and the machine gun. Colombelles MG's got a really nice line of sight down the road. For 600 meters it can engage any unit in these buildings, so that's fantastic. Colombelles MG in the middle, from this Aufklärer is providing MG fire onto the armoured rifles there as well. I'm trying to get the Osttrooper close enough to make those guys surrender. Also bringing up another IG-18. On the right side, Val's not having the best time in the factory. Airborne engineers are pushing him out of there, but he's slowly coming back with the Panzer L6s. And I'm bringing up IG-18s to support him as well. So I'm rolling across the IG-18 from the centre of the map, and I'm also bringing up an IG-18 to help him attack from the front to assist his Fallschirmjägers there. So IG-18 in the middle, going to be pinning down these armoured rifles, and what I'm going to end up doing is putting this Pak 40 to basically fire at position onto the right armoured rifles, and then fire position onto the left armoured rifles with this IG-18, and then that's going to allow my Osttrooper to recover their morale and hopefully capture both of those squads. So continuing to move forwards here with some fresh Osttrooper, that's going to reveal some armoured rifles, and they're going to be engaged by my NG34, and the IG-18's coming up, and that's going to be engaging these armoured rifles as well. Moving forwards the Colombelles MG to help me out. You can see we are just pinning those down very quickly and killing them off. The IG-18 at close range just doing a lot of damage. Scouts are going to be pinning down my Osttrooper again, but they're going to be taken out quickly by the Colombelles MG and the IG-18. IG-18 in the centre here, that's going to be taking out an armoured rifles as they try and push across the open. Colombelles MG is engaging some Pathfinders, and this IG-18 trying to come up and help out against those airborne rifles. So Osttrooper revealing themselves to another squad of infantry here. Pak 40's getting line of sight onto the M3 half track and is going to be able to get the kill there. And over on the left side, all of the other armoured rifles are finally dealt with thanks to the IG-18. And this IG-18 is also able to get rid of the M1 gun. The opponent's investing in AT guns here is kind of pointless because I wasn't using any tanks. So yeah, just using IG-18s to take out the opposing AT guns here, it reveals that I pretty much demolished their left flank. And in the centre, well, we're doing pretty well as well. Again, just a sequential push of IG-18s, Osttroopen, some recon, and command units. Pretty much it, plus the AT guns, of course. AT guns have been pretty invaluable for taking out the half-tracks and the M8 Scots in this game so far. Now I'm bringing up some more infantry. These guys are trying to help get rid of these armoured rifle squads. Move forward some more Osttroopen over here. This Locust is actually going to get pinned down by my IG-18, which is quite hilarious. I think the opponent smoked off my IG-18 so it couldn't attack the Pathfinders here. This IG-18 is still moving around to assist the Fallschirmjägers. And because I don't want Val to lose his Fallschirmjägers to the airborne engineers, I'm bringing up some Osttroopen to screen for him so that his Fallschirmjägers survive to fight another day. Also brought up a Panzer B2, and this is trying to get line of sight onto those airborne engineers. It can't be taken out so easy, so that's what that's there for. And on the right side, well, Val's making some ground here. He's using Fallschirmjägers and Scharfschütze to push on to a 50 cal at close range. These Fallschirmjägers are going to pin down some Pathfinders out in the open. The 50 cal's got the target there at close range, so it's got to be careful that those guys don't get forced to surrender. Either way, IG-18 going to be on target here, going to help kill off the Pathfinders there. In the middle, got the Osttroopen engaging some of the armoured rifles as they try and retreat. So just going to be continuing to attack me with most of my units forwards again.
Ja, Kommandant, please. Don't shoot.
So Osttroopen are just trying to advance ahead of my fire support to capture tree lines, and then the Pak-37 and IG-18s are probably like one tree line behind. I've also got, just in the middle here, fire support weapons advancing on their own. There's not too much they can do about this. I've also got a Flak 88 for the centre now, so we've moved into Phase B in 4 seconds. This is my Phase A Flak 88 that I'm affording myself to push my advantage at this point in the game. So Kubel MG is going to be pinning down some units in the open here, these airborne engineers. Osttroopen are going to force some airborne rifles to surrender with the help of the L6. And I'm now just pushing through with my fire support, the B2 and the IG-18 here to take the 101st player out of the factory. Some of my Osttroopen were destroyed here in front of these airborne rifles and Pathfinders. Probably one place that I just don't have fire support, so infantry is getting picked out or picked off. And yeah, just this whole line here, you can see all of my units are slowly moving forwards. I've got my Grenadier coming up to provide stars to the IG-18 and the Pak-37. Osttroopen engaging the armoured rifles. And basically, we need to ask ourselves, what can the opponents do about this? Because this is the second game that I've shown you guys where I've really started to like roll the enemy. And I guess in general, it was just not playing around the amount of Pak-37s that I have. So again here, crossfire, look, Pak-37 firing from the left, the Pak-37 firing from the right. These half-tracks just not having a great time. IG-18's even able to pin down the MGMC. Yes, he's going to come in with the P-38 Lightning, but it's not going to kill it off. And the IG-18, then I've got another IG-18 here, just constantly pinning down these things. So yeah, the main way to get around this is he had the right idea with the M8 Scots. I'm just not sure if he had enough of them, because those basically engage at 1,000 meter range and are armoured. So they are a direct match for the IG-18 and the Pak-37s. Because the Pak-37 is going to have a reasonably hard time killing them, because they're pretty low veterancy. And the IG-18s are HE, so they can't kill them either. They can only stun them. So if your M8 Scot gets like 2 shots on target, you're pretty much going to pin down an opposing like fire support unit, as we saw in the middle basically. So you saw the IG-18 go down in the middle, you saw the Pak-37 go down in the middle, and that forced me to bring in my Pak-40 because it was the only AT gun I had left. If he continued to kill off more of my fire support units with those M8 Scots and not let them get killed so easy, then he would have been in a pretty decent position, honestly. But either way, Mustangs are going to be going down there to one of Val's ME-109s. I try and take out the P-38 Lightning with my own ME-109, but the MGMC is not pinned down yet. Finally does get pinned down as this Pak-37 kills off the MGMC, and another half-track coming up. Again, going to get killed by the Pak-37. So this guy's at the moment just pretty much charging half-tracks at me when he really should have been like preserving them, because they are like the majority of Phase A 3rd Infantry decks. So now here I've got some Italian infantry supported by Ostruben taking on the airborne rifles. Flak 88's been targeted pretty hard in the centre but not killed off. Got a Panzer B2 rolling forwards with a Flam Panzer B2. We've got two IG-18s here as well. And we're pushing them basically across the entire map. I'm actually moving this half-track forwards to gain all this ground in the centre. Another half-track being caught out here. And he's basically trying to reinforce with infantry when he should have been trying to reinforce with something to deal with my fire support. And finally he does. You can see the M4A3 105mm coming in there. But at this point it's just way too late. So the M8 Scots in Phase A, perfect for dealing with fire support. But the best way to make sure that they don't get picked off is either to keep them together, to have the M8 Scots drive around together, or to just in general be more vigilant and have more recon. So if you can see what you want to kill before you get in range, then it gives you a major advantage because you can plan how you want to take it out. On this left side, IG-18 and Flak 88 killing off another armoured rifle squad. And this is just literally anything he throws at me at this point. M8, which is not going to do the job. I've got another Flak 88 on this left side now, so I've got two Flak 88s on the field. And these pretty much just solidify my front line. The best thing about the Flak 88s as well is their 1200 meter range, and that really allows them to deal with, for example, the M4A3s, unless he plays it smart. So when I was playing it against Core of Existence ages ago on the airfield map, he used his M4A3, like the 105mm, on his French deck to engage my Flak 88s from out of range. And you're probably wondering how that is, because they have the same range. But basically you can fire position just in front of a unit and not be in its range, especially with like a HE shell, and actually stun it before you fully engage it and actually get accurate shots. So with this M4A3, what he wants to be doing is not getting into range first of all of this Flak 88. Then what he wants to be doing is fire positioning like just in front of it, so the Flak 88 is not actually in range itself, but you're still stunning the Flak 88. Then what you do is just engage it fully once it's pinned down. That would have been more than enough to deal with a lot of my units. However, like I said, at this point it's almost too late, because I've managed to get my infantry really far up. So I've got some Italian infantry here that are literally going to be able to engage the M8 if it gets any closer. I also could have been running them up the tree line there to engage the M8. IG-18 is also just slamming that M8, and as that M8 falls back, well, it's going to get killed by the Flak 88 anyway. My infantry is moving up on this right side, Flam Panzer B2 and the Panzer B2 engaging all of these glider rifles. I drop off the Flak 88 and then use the half track to go capture these glider rifles up here. They're going to be continuously pinned down by Val's ME-109s, and you can see this has just got a fast move order to go and capture those guys. I'm now planning to take the next town with multiple more infantry. The M4A3 is trying to get into range of my Flak 41. But yeah, he engages me from in range. And okay, so you'll see here how much HE this thing has and how much it can stun a Flak 88. Look, it almost can stun it in one shot. If you don't allow that to get into range and allow that Flak 88 to get the kill there, you can kill off that Flak 88 so easy with those 105mm guns. Same happens on the left side here, look. M4A3 gets into range of my Flak 88. Flak 88 fires its last shot before it gets stunned, and boom, goes at M4A3. So, in some cases he was unlucky because he couldn't get the second shot off to stun both of my units before they got the kills. But at the same time, just not engaging them from in range would have been a good idea, and probably the best way to deal with them. But now he's just given me 2 M4A3 kills. They were the best counter to what I had, and yes, he's got to continue to throw infantry at me just to hold the front line, but just deploy them a little further back, to play more defensively. He's constantly trying to charge forwards with his infantry here. I don't know if he's using attack move orders or what, but they're not getting into range to do anything, and my fire support with 1,000-meter range is always going to be just easy to counter these armoured rifles. The only time I'm ever having trouble dealing with them is when I have to engage them within range. So one squad of Osttroop in here engaging 3 units of armoured rifles, but as soon as I get another unit to the side here, and this is an IG-33 coming in now, that's just going to help stun and destroy these armoured rifles so easily. So since this Osttrooper's getting pretty low on health, I've actually got another unit coming up. And I'm just going to unload those guys, or just make them surrender anyway.
Infantry bereit.
And there we go, there goes another unit. IG-18 hammering that tree line. I think I actually had the fire at position going again. HS-129 is going to kill off the Greyhound. And we've already pushed all the way through to the right side. Val's managed to get a Cupel MG up to the reinforcement point on, or above the factory there, so nothing else coming in. We actually had a +4. So yeah, just continuing to roll across the open here. Got my infantry moving up. This is all going to take this town, but what I end up doing is actually moving them to the next town because I realise there's not much there. And since we are running a +4, there's only 50 seconds until we win the game. It was admirable that our opponents continued to fight to the end, but basically at the end of the day, at this point, it's pretty much over. Mustangs coming in now. I've got flak 88s on the field, so they're not going to have an easy time. Mustang's going to go down there as well. Armoured rifles pinned down. Going to be taken out by a combination of my fire support there. These guys all got pinned down because my own IG-18 continued to fire position onto my own dudes, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think throughout this game it's a good example of like a game to talk about, like how to counter this deck, because if you don't do the right things, it can really just snowball so hard, because for every unit you don't kill, like an IG-18 or a Pak-37, I'm just going to be bringing one more like every minute, like one more of each every minute. And if you're not dealing with them efficiently enough, then it's just going to overwhelm you. And that's exactly what happened on the left side in general, and on the right side when I helped Val with the IG-18s and other fire support. He managed to break through in the factory as well, although a lot of that was of his own making, with those L6 tanks as well. If we go to the team's perspective, yeah, I barely lost anything. 270 losses, and this pretty much tells the story of why my push worked out so well. So 1,925 kills to 270 losses. Val's 2,035 kills to 675 losses. So Val actually lost the factory briefly at the beginning, which was good of Uber. But yeah, Solidifying just not respecting the IG-18 Pak-37 combo, and really losing his M8 Scots too easily. They were the right unit to use, and I think in general he was using the right units. It's just the way he used them, letting them get killed by the Pak-37s like this is really not good. M8 Scots more than have enough armor to allow them to get 2 shots into a Pak-37 before they are forced to retreat, and you can just see how much damage my fire support units did here. Look, Pak-37, 4 kills, half tracks MG MC. Pak-37, 4 half tracks M8 Scott. Pak-37, 2 half tracks M22 Locust. IG-18 killed off a Locust there, which is quite funny. IG-18 here killed multiple armoured rifles and 1 gun half track. This Pak-40 came in, killed off multiple half tracks and the armoured rifles. Flak 88 killed an M4A3 and more half tracks. And it's just like all of these half track kills shouldn't have happened in a lot of ways, because they shouldn't have even been in line of sight of these AT guns. If you know if there's an AT gun there, don't just run at it. It's not going to work. Unless you can have, like, if you can save up your half tracks and get to a point where you can like overwhelm an AT gun, then fair enough. But that really requires you to be like in range. So if you're using 50 cal half tracks, that's 800 meter range. Make sure that the AT gun, when you go around the corner, is in range. And then you can just crush them with like an overwhelming amount of half tracks. You can drop off your infantry into those locations. Don't charge them forwards into the open. Never do that. And then you just use your half tracks, like you save them up and then make a push with your half track supported by your infantry. That's kind of like the way that you'd want to use the half tracks in this game. And then the M8 Scots, yeah, the perfect sort of tanks to counter my light sort of fire support units, but it's not used correctly. In terms of losses, so you can see this M8 Scot killed the IG-18N, Pack 37 in the middle. If he continued to do that, it would have been really, really good. Either way, that's all for me to say in this one. So I didn't necessarily want to make this a game where I was showing like us like just rolling over people, because that's not always fun. But I like the way that it was sort of almost sequential on the left side in terms of like how my progression worked with my deck. But also just in general, like it was a good time to talk about how to counter this, because I'm playing it over and over again and I'm not seeing anyone react to it properly. So I just wanted to like kind of get that off my chest. By the way guys, hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.